Hi, I'm here at the CoinRoutes Holiday Week, and we're kicking off another session with the CoinRoutes team. I have Eric and Christy here from the Relationship Management team, and we're going to talk about what we're seeing in the market. Do you guys want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Eric Walcott, Client Relations.
Hey, I'm Christy, also client relations.
So there's been a lot of talk about counterparty risk and people wanting to diversify their exposure. What are you guys seeing in the market?
We're seeing just that. Clients are very concerned about counterparty risk. They kind of want to keep their funds off exchanges. So definitely the uncollateralized portion, they want to keep it off exchanges. So they're definitely looking for solutions to kind of, only call the funds when they're for a specific trade or so.
Yeah, definitely. I can really echo that. I mean, if we think back to the conversations we were having even a few months ago, people didn't understand that there was a reason to diversify away from FTX. We talked to so many people who said, I like the FTX GUI. I like what they're doing. I'm just going to put all my money there. And unfortunately, those people lost a lot of money. It almost reminds me back in TradFi when people started understanding we need multiple counterparties. We can't just use one prime broker. I feel like we're having that same kind of waking up happening in crypto right now.
Right, and so I think, a lot of our partners, especially having prime brokerage type businesses, are you seeing more demand for kind of multi-prime trading, and how does that affect kind of how people are trading currently?
Definitely. I think similar to the transition we were just talking to, the more counterparties you have and the less collateral you have with each of them, the safer people feel and the less risk you're taking. Right now it's not you're just taking risk on the price of Bitcoin, it's also you taking risk on can you even get your assets back? Or are you going to just lose all your assets in that way?
Seeing the same thing, yeah. One of the cool things about us is that we trade across multiple exchanges, and this is something that clients are going to be forced to do now going forward.
Yeah. I mean, it's sad that this kind of happened, but I mean, ultimately, do you think that this puts the industry in a position to recover kind of in a stronger manner? Like, how does this shakeout kind of change the way that clients are trading in the ecosystem?
Well, they're definitely trading across the multiple exchanges. They're definitely figuring I got to diversify. That's the big thing right now, because what they were seeing was like what Christy was saying. I like this one exchange, FTX. They like the GUI. Now that's no longer an option. They can't do that in the this going forward. That's not going to happen. So
Definitely. It's really, people are starting to realize that there were risks in the system that they never thought about. If the market always goes up, there's so many things you don't have to account for. But when things like this happen, you see the smarter players, the more intelligent players, the more strategic players really come out on top. And we think ultimately that's very beneficial for the industry being able to mature.
Okay, let's talk about DeFi. I mean, there's a lot of volume has been seen to be migrating to DeFi exchanges. Do you think that DeFi has a place within this kind of diversifying your counterparty risk? Are you seeing demand from clients for DeFi venues as well?
Of course, we've seen a lot of demand for DeFi, and I think it really speaks to the heart of crypto, where you shouldn't have to depend on a counterparty and depend on, someone to have your money and a middleman. And really, if we get to the heart of crypto and the heart of blockchain, it echoes so much with the DeFi protocols. And I think people are now going back to basics almost of blockchain.
Cool. So we talked a little bit before about counterparty risk and diversifying. What are kind of the problems that people run into while trying to have a multi-prime, multi-exchange trading strategy?
Definitely. You see a lot of increases in operational complexity. Instead of having one counterparty, one exchange, you have N number of counterparties and X number of exchanges. And so we see that people really need a product like CoinRoutes that has the ability to let you easily trade across all those different exchanges, see your positions, route to the venues that have the best liquidity and best prices.
best pricing, lower fees, and then we do that so well. You know that, but what the challenges that we're seeing from the customers are like just the operational part of it. Like, where do I get all my funds? How do I keep all my funds here? Are my funds insured? We're hearing a lot of that now about the safety of their funds. Like, what's going to happen? So the trend is they're not going to park all these funds on the exchanges.
Yeah. I mean, it's really a shame. I remember I personally lost money in Cryptopia several years ago when that whole thing went down. And ever since then, we've had the philosophy that you really need to diversify your counterparty risk. And it's kind of a shame that this whole thing, happened. But ultimately, I think it really now is in the public mind that you need to keep funds on multiple counterparties. You need to be able to do this. And so that's why at CoinRoutes, we believe that, you need to have a multi-counterparty trading system. Right?
Definitely. I think we're really well positioned going forward based on the fact that we spent 5 years building this and we've spent, many of our founders, many of our employees were even building products like this in TradFi for decades before.
Yeah, and I mean to touch back on the point about DeFi before, I heard from several funds that the point that we're in DeFi trading now is kind of the point that normal exchange trading was in 2017 when we started CoinRoutes, where people are going to these platforms, manually click trading on each platform, manually moving funds around. And so I think for us as a business to be able to offer both CeFi and DeFi trading is really kind of necessary in the marketplace to enable kind of a seamless trading experience.
Absolutely. We're well positioned in that regard.
Yep.